Welcome back to Desynced. My name is Nilaus and I can't leave this game alone. And I know that the demo has been shut down, and for good reason, because the developers, as they said, the current state of development has moved so far from the demo that they don't really want to show it anymore. So what am I doing here? Well, first of all, I can't help myself. The second thing is that you like these videos, and the third thing is I only want to show stuff that is related to behavior. So something that I believe is not going to change much. Maybe the UI is going to change, but I just want to show how to sort of build a good chain of programs to solve a supply chain problem. So I'm not going to look at virus, I'm not going to look at Intel, I'm not going to look at tech, I'm not going to look at any of these things because they are very much subject to change. But I believe that the core behavior pattern, and that's also the part that is the coolest part of this game, is still here. So what I want to do is something we've kind of been hinting at and working a bit forward in steps previously, but now we're going to go all in and make a fully automated self-scanning then mining hauling solution. So it's starting back here, and we have some haulage or some storage here. This is where we bring things in, we just fill it up, and then we can push it into this storage here. So that's excellent as we go. This is also a little program we've done where it just kind of splits it between the two other locations, and then we'll just fill up the storage here, as you can see, and they'll be available for sort of local distribution. But we need to go here. So let's say we have an example. Now let me show how I previously did it. I previously did it like this, where I expanded out, had some miners, they go back to a mining location, and then have a hauler going back and forth. Now that works okay, except that it requires two things, or two things can happen. First of all, as you see here, they run out of power, and then they go back. Then they do not charge enough necessarily to when they go out, and then run out of power and come back too often. Second thing is, in order for them to not run out of power, we have to expand our power pole network everywhere. Both of those options are pretty bad. And you can see here the issue. So we need to do something where we have power, we have self-identifying new patches, so that when it runs out, it'll find the next one, and haulage and all that stuff. Everything has to be automated. So that is what we're going to do. I have started by creating some twin bots because we can use the twin bots as a base. The first thing we want to do, and that's actually the central one, is that we want to make a mining storage thing. Well, that's kind of a weird explanation. And let's see, I want to have this one. So what do I want? Well, we need to make sure that you have a radar, because you need to get a radar here. So let's get you a where are you? The radar really should have like a radar icon-ish, something that identifies as a radar. So we need a radar, we need a behavior controller for sure. We need to have a power pole, because I want this to be functioning as a power pole. And then I also want to get it, just make sure that it has a little bit more storage. So it gets 4 extra storage because it's kind of running out here. So those are the things that I want to be putting in here. We can get these done, and you go up here. And then as we get the last one, then we now have all of this built. I want to make sure that this is something we can store and save, so that I can very, very easily build new stuff. So this here, what is your job? Your job is to simply find out where do we have extra resources, and then go there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to say that I'm only going to set what resource this one is going to scan a single place, and that's going to be here. So you're going to be chunks. This is the only place I will ever set this. So this now has to be accessible anywhere else. Now let's get that as let's see, we're going to go over here for the visual, so at least we can see what it is. Now at this point, we really want to make sure that it has some kind of cool behavior that does what I want it to do. So let's go in here and design some behavior. We'll remove the behavior that we already have. There are 2 registers that just happens to be what we need anyway. We are not going to call this hauling. We're just going to call this, I don't know, as resource scan and store. The first thing that we want is a component here that does a radar task. Now this is where it gets a little bit more advanced than what we've done previously, because I'm not going to hard code it. I told you I'd only said it once, and that's I'm at least trying to stay true to that. So the first thing we want to scan for is a mineable resource. There you go. So far so good. Can you scan for a mineable resource? Yes. And you found some here. Laperite. Completely useless. Not what we want. So how do we make sure that this gets in here? You can actually take it from our signal, and then I can put it into P2. Then I'm going to go in here and then take P2 and get that into a filter here. Now we're going to start it again. That means it'll only scan for crystal chunks. See, now it doesn't find the laperite. Since we know we have some crystal chunks out here, then let's try to get it to this location and see if we can get it as close as possible. Just close enough so that it'll start scanning. When we see a result here, then we know that it is actually scanning. And are you scanning? How are you not finding it? Oh, like just a little bit off. There we go. Now it has found crystals. So now we can see that it actually works. It does not scan and it does not identify other resources. It only identifies the crystal. Perfect. That's one mission accomplished. Now what do we want? We want to store that result as a register 1. And if we don't find anything, we have a few options to do. One thing we could do is we could do scout, so that we would just say, all right, if you don't find anything, just start scouting around and maybe you'll find something. That's a little bit dangerous because they could sort of go out and aggro and then get themselves killed. Yeah, that's not ideal. For now, we would just want to do a notify and just notify me that the scanner looking for chunks is not finding anything. All right, but in a good case, the fact that we have actually done this, then we want to move the unit within range here and of target what? Of the target we just had. Now, this is going to be an issue because if we look at what we've scanned, it says 53. Yeah, that means that we're now going to scan 50. We're going to stay at a range of 53 from this. That's not really good. So what we need to do is find a math one where we set the number. We can put that in between. We can say you take the value and you take the number 3. That's just what I feel. I feel 3 is a good place to build it. And then, no. And then it put it back onto that variable. Yeah. And that should mean that it'll now go into the range of 3 nearby that one. Let's give a shot. It scans, it finds it. Where is it going? It is moving. I think I can press M, then it will show where it is. That will be 3 tiles away. That's glorious. So now this is what we want. This is just going to be moving, scanning, moving 3 tiles away. But this is having a little bit of an issue because it does not have any structural integrity. This one you should not be going there. I need to find the one I was looking at. Where are you? Here. This one. So let's make it a little more advanced because we actually want to make sure that we check the structural integrity of the network. And that is on a global. Check grid efficiency. There we go. Warning under attack. That I don't want. All right, back here to our storage bot here, or our scanning. The issue that this one can have and will have is that it's running out of power. And we can do that by sort of scanning the area, but there's also just no reason to scan for an issue that we know exists. So the first thing I want to do is try to establish, you can see here there is a discontinuity in the grid network. So what we want to do is we want to make a power pole, a mobile power pole. And this is one of the cool things that we can actually do is make power poles here. So I want to make a dashbot. They are fast and quick and good. So we'll make a little dashbot for us. This dashbot will be equipped with a what will be equipped with? It'll be equipped with a few things. Just basically a power pole is I guess, and a controller of behavior. Okay, so here we have the dashboard. What do we want for this? We want to get you a behavior controller. Yes. We want to give you a power pole. There. They are. No, not a small one. Yeah, a small power pole, I guess. Those are the ones we want. So let's get those two, and then we should have all the options we need once we get these. There we go. And the only thing we want as well, we could give it a virus protection just because they are just nice to have some virus protection here. We can now control the behavior, and only thing I want to do here is I want to just have a P1, so I can have a program, and then I want to move into range of unit, and that unit is P1. Is it? Yes, that's it. Behavior controller. There. So now I can check just this one, and if I highlight it up here, then we'll go to range 0, and then I can hold over and then scroll wheel up. They can reach a total of 16, so I'm going to set 15, so there's a little bit of margin of error, and then we can see that this power pole that is en route will get over here and establish the connection here. So you might think like, oh, that's great, but then what if it moves? Well, it'll sort of always stay within 15 tiles, or at exactly the range 15 tiles. If it gets closer, it won't move back to 15 tiles, but it'll go here now. Okay, first, yeah, it sent the command when it was at 15 or at 0. So now we need to go here and then see that it goes in and command and go to that location. Now it has established the network and the electric network all the way. And the thing is, we can just make more of these, and then we can string it together until they reach back here to the network. For example, here's another one, which we can just go and drag it up to that one if we wanted to. Oh no, I did not do that. I didn't do that. Okay, never mind. That's a little bit of a mishap there. There. Let's get you sort of connected, because that's connected to somewhere else. All right, so then we have one. We are still going to make a little condition here, because we want to check if we are still connected to the network. So that's over here by global. We can do a check network integrity. If it is full, we're all good, and we just loop it back and continue. If it is not full, then we want to notify me here that there is a problem, and then use this one as an indicator. So then we know that it disconnected from the network. How will that work? Well, it should work, but let's give it a shot. So at this point, there's no continuation. This will be scanning for closest crystal, and this one will come along. It won't be, there we go. It notifies already that the power network is disjoint. And if we then can reestablish it by making a few more of these bots here, then it'll be perfectly fine. As long as we build out, I'm going to build a few more so you can see the point. Okay, we have the two locations here, and all we need to do is we need to guide it into here, set it up to 15, enable. This is going over to set it to connect to this, set it to 15, and go. Notify explorable. That is our automatic scout. This has found something interesting. I'm not going to deal with that now because we are working on this problem, and the automatic scout is super amazing as well. But it's not quite there yet. All right, so we will now see that this one is also, you can see that even though it should be sort of keep throwing us warnings here, it doesn't continue to send us warnings about incomplete integrity, because when it doesn't have power, the scanner doesn't work. So now this program has evolved a little bit more. It does all the things that it needs, but we don't have any miners going on. So now we need to build some miners. Well, let's go back here, and I also got some twin bots. Then let's have a look at what do we think the twin bots would want as a miner. The only thing they want is they need a... Do they even need a behavior controller? I think they might. No, they need a signal reader. That's true. They need to be able to read the signal that I am publishing from the other part. Then it also needs some of the new laser mining tool, the ones we found out last time how we could make here with by upgrading some of the normal miners, or some of the normal laser miners. Then we can get them in here. Let's get those in here, and then we can set them up. I wonder if I'm actually making... Oh, I am making signal reader, am I? That's a radio transmitter. Am I? Yeah, there we go. I am making signal reader. Good. So we don't have a problem with that. This one's now ready. We put it in here. Miner and miner. So at this point, we have to say the signal is being read from where? We're going to be reading it from this signal here. So I am going to say you're going to read the signal from this entity, and you can see here. You could also make a behavior controller and then inside the behavior read the signal, but I do it this way. So now we know exactly what we want in terms of signal reading. Actually, we want to do it a little bit better because we want to say this one is home on this one. And then we take the home and say always the home go in here. So that means we only need to change the home when we make a new depot, then the rest comes in automatically. And this here will then be illustrated as what it's doing. And then these will be set up here automatically. No need for any kind of program here. All of this is see no behaviors. This is also what I want to show, like how simple you can actually make it. We are going to get you inbound, and of course I'm also going to set up the other ones once we have confirmed that the first one is working. I've just pressed M to show the pathing here. Don't really need it, but that means this one will go back to this. The miner here will go back. I'm going to call you miner twin bot, and you are going to be a radar. Now storage twin bot. There you go. Right, so you are here, and somehow you should be able to get to scan this one and find where you want to go. Oh, right. This is not working. See, what you're seeing here is it says it's already... Something was saying like it's already holding the requested amount of 0 of crystal chunk. Silly me. So the only thing we did here, this means that this signal is the only one we had. This should of course not be 0, but it should be infinite. As soon as I do that, these will want to scan infinite amount of, or mine infinite amount, and that's the right number. So we'll set the other ones up exactly like this, so they will also get started. And so we have set it up now. They are all coming back here with full complement. We also had a notification from another location which solved itself. Well, after I solved it, it solved itself. Now we have a pretty good mining. We have miners that are now linked between the storage and the local crystal. So that is also good, but we need to do some haulage. So let's figure out how to do the hauler. And that is going to be, again, trying to make it as simple as possible. We have a hauler here, and we're just going to be dragging it over. The way that we want to do this is, you need to get your equipment up and running first. So what do we want for equipment? Well, we definitely want a little bit more storage. So let's get that in here. We definitely want a behavior controller. So let's get that. And we definitely also want a signal reader. Technically, we don't need a signal reader because you do it for the program, but I like doing it this way. So we sort of go as light on programs as possible. Then, because why not? Then I also want to get a solar cell here as well. So let's get those into here. That's going to be there, and we will get the solar cell as well, or solar cell as well there. Let's switch these two just for good order. All right, and that can go out to this location. Now, what do we want to do? We want to figure out, the only thing we want to set up is this will have a home register at the storage. So because it has a home register here, I can scan the signal at the home register. It'll now be told that to be chunks. That's great. This chunks will now be used for visualization. Great. And then we can go in and build a little program for it. So what do we want for this program? Well, it's pretty simple. We need two locations. They're going to be here. A pickup and a delivery location. That is very, very simple. I will do pickup items. It'll go to the visual indicate. No. It'll go to there. It has more options. It'll go to P1, which is the pickup location. What it'll pick up, all the stuff it can, the stuff that's in here. Then it'll go to another one where it just drops off like so. And what will it drop off? Well, everything, but that's kind of useless. You can also just say, go here, pick up whatever you can, go there, unload whatever you can, and loop it back. Technically, you don't need to loop it back because it always loops back when it doesn't do anything else. Like, that is excruciatingly simple. If it works. Does it work? It doesn't work. So we do need to tell it what to pick up. There we go. Tell it what to pick up. Whoa. This one. That's coming from the visual indicator. Here. We have not specified it. So let's specify that it goes to P1 to pick up. Look at that. Immediately get over there. And where the drop it off, it'll drop it off at this location. Should be fine. And then it'll just go back and forth between these two locations, filling in here as much as we can. And that actually sort of concludes this loop in terms of what we have. We have 4 miners. They're working with the good laser miners. They're just working here, getting it up, going back to the storage location where it can unload up to 160. And then we have a single hauler going back and forth to fill up to just bring it back home. What we can also do is, like, if you take a look at another one that I've built, this one here, built really far away. We can also take another one, such as all we need to do is, for example, take this fighter twin bot and sort of link it to, so that if these for some odd reason decide to go out here and aggro something, then this one is nearby and can protect it. That seems also a reasonable way to just get a little bit more protection. And what I've done is I've of course made blueprints for it. So I have a miner twin bot, I have a power pole, I have a storage, I have a hauler, and I have a fighter. So we can just make each of these and they will come out with exactly the stuff that they want, all the stuff in here. And when we set up a new thing, for example, if I wanted to just replace some of this old junk here, which is absolutely what I want, let me just replace some of this junk just to show you how easily it can be done by just getting over here. We'll replace this. All I need to do now is get yeah, okay, it's gonna take a while to build the stuff, but once I build it, it's gonna be fast. So I'll just be building all the stuff we need, and I'll show you how quick it is to set it up for a new location. All right, so we have all the items here. We're just still baking the last few of the power poles. So the way that this works is, let's see how easy we can make it. Signal scan. What do we want scanned? This one, 100. Awesome. We're going to move it a little bit away. We're not going to start it, because once we start it, that's going to be it. Then we want each one of these to simply say home to this location. Then they will scan everything else. Home to this location. As long as we just set the home, then it's going to work. There, these 4 miners, they will now have home here. Then all I need to do for this part is set, whoops, okay, that's not correct. That was, I set the home to this, and the drop off point to, well, wherever I want to drop it off. Set the home to this one, and set the drop off point to here. And that's all done. Now we have some power poles. This will also be set to here, and scroll it up to 15. I'll now enable it. This will build onto the next one. Scroll up to 15. Enable. Set it to this. These are chained up, so they are in a nice long chain, and they will therefore be able to reach back to our network. There. And the other ones, haulers, they will have enabled, and they will be enabled. Now the only one that missing an enable is this one. I'm going to be starting the scan, but I also want you to guide you towards saying, you know what, I want you in this kind of area down here. So I'll just send you in this sort of general direction, and then we'll have it when it scans something. It actually is, it's trying to scan, but it hasn't found anything yet. As soon as it finds anything, it'll probably be this one here. There we go. It has now found something, and we can then just let it go. We can press M. It'll go to the location I have specified, and now it actually finds it in another place that's closer. They will go here, and all of the minor twin bots will go in here, find locations to scan. The 2 haulers will idly stand by until there's something here. We're just going to wait until the first one comes back, and then we can see how the haulage also works. We can trace this back here. There's a power pole, there's a mobile power pole, and they just sort of continue sort of being pulled along at a slow rate. 1, 2, 3, and I have no idea where the 4th one is, but it's probably somewhere there. 1, 2, 3. Where are you? Did I forget to enable it or something? Yeah, I forgot to enable it. There. And the last one we also could get, and probably should get, is also the defender. So we grab that here and then drag it to this location. So once that's there, then we also have someone in the vicinity who can protect any of the miners. And so the inventory is gradually filling up. I can basically say wait until you have exactly 160, but I really don't feel that's necessary. Just go back and forth. There we go. That goes to 60. There we go. And the other ones will just unload here as well. One got 160 and the other one got 80, and they are now coming back. When they return here, there'll be another 80 for you to pick up, and we have the loop completely made. Look at how easy that was once we have the templates. And also another thing that's also super easy is how little we actually had to use the behaviors. This is the most advanced behavior thing that we have, and it's only really this that does something. The rest is just notify, and check integrity in order for us to notify. Same with the hauler, doesn't have anything, it's just going back and forth. And the same with the bots, they don't have anything, these don't have anything. So I wanted to show you how much of automation you can do without even needing to do any advanced programming, because I think the advanced programming is what will scare most people off from this. And I want to make sure that I don't make super complicated programs that are impossible to maintain and impossible to teach. So I want to make stuff like this that is fully automated but light on programming. I hope this was a good teaser for what we have in store for Desynced. I am going to, of course, keep a very close eye on the development of Desynced, and you can expect to see a lot more here on the channel. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and thank you to the developers who've been so good at communicating both with me and with the community on all the things that are going on and listening to feedback. So thank you very much. I will see you guys back when Desynced launches in early access, or whenever something else comes out that we can show you. So until next time, take care, and as always, stay effective.